I'm joined by Washington Lee University head volleyball coach Bryan Snyder. They were picked number 1 in the 2016 ODAC preseason poll. Coach, last season, I believe you hadn't exited in the tournament after the semifinal round, a little bit earlier than normal for what has been your story program. Talk a little bit about the experiences of last year, your squad from last year, and how you think that's going to affect coming into this year.
Yeah, last year obviously didn't play out the way we had hoped it would. We played a very difficult regular season schedule, which kind of beat us up. It's one of those things where you try to balance that. You want to play great competition to prepare you for the postseason, but I think we were actually a little physically, like I said, beat up a little bit. Obviously had a couple injuries late in the season. But I think psychologically it may have gotten it to us a little bit as well. We lost a lot of matches and a lot of sets late in sets. So I think we didn't have the best mindset and confidence when we were on the floor. And I think that led to us losing a lot of close sets to some good teams, So I don't take anything away from any of the other teams, but I think, maybe we could have done some things differently. But we're just hoping that experience motivates us to get ready for this year. Last year's gone and we're all looking ahead to this year. Yeah, we're going to be a really young team this year. So we'll have 3 seniors and 3 juniors, and not all of them have a ton of playing experience. Obviously, Kenzie Shand, is just a phenomenal athlete and a phenomenal player. So I expect her to be great for us on the floor. She's also one of our 2 captains, so I expect her to be great from a leadership perspective. She was a junior captain last year as well, so she has some experience there. We're also looking for Katie Volk, returning libero, to have a good, strong season. We've worked really hard with her on her strength and her conditioning. She's a smaller athlete, so physical upper body strength is very key for her performance, and we've worked really hard with her on that. And then Meg Guion, who was the Rookie of the Year last year, I think she really blossomed towards the end of the year. She came in and did a great job of trying to learn our technique and our tactics. And so at the beginning of the year, I don't think she played as well as she wanted to or as well as we thought she could. But really from probably October 1st on, she was outstanding. And so we're looking for her to have a big year this year as well. Also we have Elena West coming back, who was our starting setter last year, led the ODAC in assists. She should be a year better. She had a good spring. So we've got some good pieces back, but really we're very, very young. 10 of our 16 players are going to be freshmen or sophomores. So I think you're going to see a lot of new faces for us on the floor. And quite honestly, I was a little surprised when I found out we were the number 1 choice in the preseason poll, because I'm not quite sure what we're going to look like. So I was like, well, how do these other coaches know what we're going to look like? But I'm excited about the talent we have. We do have some freshmen coming in that I expect to really give us a lift. They're going to have to play just based on, we have 7 of them. So, some of them are going to have to play just based on numbers. But I expect us to get better along the way, because those freshmen are going to play a lot. And so they typically have steep learning curves, and that should help us out, hopefully, by the time we get to November this year. Yeah, we want usually the month of September, August and September, to be very competitive in our practice gym. So we want players pushing each other and running a lot of different lineups, giving lots of different people opportunities to challenge each other, to push each other. Sometime in that early to mid-October range, hopefully we find that group where people settle into roles. Because we're going to have to figure out who our best passers are, who our best servers are, who our best blockers are, who our situational subs are, what combinations of players work best together. And those things take some time. But then hopefully that last 2 to 3 weeks, we can really find that lineup that works best together, start doing a lot more first team, second team in the gym on a day-to-day basis, because generally we don't do a lot of that early in the year. We just mix the teams up and put people in uncomfortable situations so that they're challenged and play in chaos as much as possible. But then towards the end of the year, we taper that into more of a, not necessarily controlled environment, but a known environment where certain players are playing with and next to one another and getting that comfort factor so that we can hopefully be peaking at the end of the year. I think it's wide open, and it really has been. I've just been so impressed with how the league has grown in the last 6 to 8 years, really. It's really anybody's ballgame. You see teams that are in the bottom of the standings beating teams that are at the top of the standings, or going 5 with those teams. All the sets you see are 25-22, 25-21. You're just not beating people easily anymore. So, I don't know what the other teams have coming in. In general, we don't recruit against many of those other teams, so I'm not familiar with a lot of the players they have. I know some of the ones, we see them out in the club circuit, and I know some of the players that are coming to some of the other schools. So, but the coaches do a good job, and there is good returning talent. I think there will be a couple of teams that will surprise people. I think Virginia Wesleyan is going to be very good. Obviously, Randolph-Macon is always very good. I look for Emory and Henry to be good this year. That group of juniors and seniors they have now has been sort of knocking on the door the last couple of years. They've been 5th, 6th in the league, but that group has played together now for 2 or 3 years, and they're very athletic and very talented. Coach Bays has been there for a couple of years now, so I actually think they might be a team that could surprise some people. I think they're going to be very good this year.